If you've ever fought a gas trimmer on a Saturday morning, yanking the pull cord 10 times, breathing fumes, and waking up half the street, you already know why cordless lithium tools took over lawn care. But here's what nobody tells you. Going battery didn't make the buying decision easier, it made it harder. Now, you're weighing motor efficiency, line feed, weight, and battery life all at once. I went deep on 7 of the best cordless string trimmers you can get right now, and each one nails a completely different yard and a completely different kind of person. All 7 are linked in the description below, so let's dive in. First up is the Worx, and this one wins people over the second they pick it up. It runs on the 20-volt PowerShare platform, spins a 12-inch cutting path, and its headline trick is command feed. Instead of the old bump the head on the ground routine that jams half the time, you tap a button on the handle and the line advances electronically. At 5.5 pounds, it's feather light on an aluminum telescoping shaft that extends from 36 to 51 inches, so it fits your height instead of the other way around. Rotate the head 90 degrees and it becomes an edger, dropping rubber wheels that carry the weight for you. So you walk it down the sidewalk like a vacuum and the edge comes out laser straight. Picture a suburban yard with curved walkways and irregular beds. You trim the open grass, then flip to the wheels for those clean border lines without straining your back. The 2 amp-hour battery is happiest on fine grass for 15 to 20 minutes, so it's a finishing tool, not a machete for a vacant lot. But Worx sweetens it with their free Spools for Life program. Register the tool and get their double helix line for the life of the machine, a small thing that kills a tedious chore. If the Worx is about featherlight finishing, the Garvee flips toward raw value and endurance. It pairs an 8,000 RPM motor with a fully automatic feed that senses the line wearing down and pushes out more on its own. What sets it apart is the box. 2 batteries, a fast charger that refills a dead cell in about an hour and change, and 8 pre-wound spools, basically a year of line the day it lands on your porch. The head pivots 60 degrees and the auxiliary handle spins a full 180, which pays off on sloped drainage ditches where a mower would tip right over. You stand upright on flat ground, angle the head to the slope, and let those 8,000 revolutions tear through tall, damp weeds that bog down a slower motor. It's heavier at just over 8 pounds, so you'll lean on that handle to balance it. And the fast charger is the quiet MVP. Drain the first battery in 20 or 30 minutes, drop in the second, and by the time that's flat, the first is nearly charged. Here's where things get clever. The Jaklari runs at 21 volts and climbs to 8,500 RPM, but its real party trick has nothing to do with speed because the whole shaft folds in half at a 180-degree hinge. If you drive a regular sedan and look after a small second property or a garden plot, this is the one that slides into your trunk instead of making you fold the back seats down. On site, the head articulates 60 degrees and the handle rotates 180, so you can thread the line under a bench or around a sprinkler head without contorting yourself like a yoga instructor. Between the 2 batteries, you get around 40 minutes of runtime. That 8,500 RPM slices the grass cleanly instead of tearing it, so the tips don't yellow, and you can sweep along at a brisk walk rather than creeping. Just know the torque keeps it in the herbaceous lane, so feed it woody stems and it'll stall. And pull out 3/4 of the line before your first start, or the auto feed sensor won't wake up. And then there's the Wegofly, which honestly isn't really a string trimmer, it's a 4-in-1 battle station for anyone whose yard fights back. Under the hood is a 21-volt motor spinning steel gears at 12,000 revolutions per minute. It ships with big 4 to 6 amp-hour batteries and interchangeable heads, a 13-inch nylon spool, flat steel blades for thick grass, and a toothed circular saw disc for small trees. Yes, you read that right, it'll cut wood. Picture a rural plot on the edge of the woods. You start with the rolling mower chassis on a field of tall, stubborn grass, then hit a fence line choked with brambles and pine saplings, swap on the saw disc, and slice clean through them like a hot knife. Then you pop the spool back on for finishing around the planters by the house. The catch is that swapping heads means locking it down and handling nuts near sharp blades, and those exposed edges demand respect, since clipping a hidden rock can send fragments flying. For a small city yard, it's overkill, but for rough acreage, a steel gearbox shrugging off heat that would melt a plastic transmission makes it a long-term investment. Now, coming back down to earth, the Kamasti is for the person who wants punch without giving up their garage. It runs 20 volts but pushes a surprising 9,500 revolutions per minute, and it's one of the few here carrying Global Recycled Standard and Climate Pledge friendly certifications. The shaft folds 3 ways and rotates 180, so it tucks under a laundry room shelf in a townhouse with almost no floor space. What surprises people is the sheer aggression on the trigger. Folks stepping up from an older sluggish unit swear it feels like their old 2-stroke gas engine. Its secret weapon is the durable guide wheel. Unlike the flimsy wire spacers most trimmers use, it acts like a real pivot point, and paired with that 9,500 RPM whirlwind, it carves a clean micro-trench along your driveway that usually takes a dedicated blade edger. The line wears quickly if you keep grinding it against rough concrete, and after a hard run, the battery runs warm enough that you'll want to let it cool before charging. If the Kamasti is about brute acceleration, the Fokikip flips to finesse and brains. This 21-volt tool has dual speed modes, so you control the motor's revolutions electronically. Drop it into low on fine grass, and the battery economy goes through the roof, up to 45 minutes, a class leader. Here's where it shines. Say you keep a botanically busy yard with wide beds of bark mulch, fragile perennials, and ceramic pots. Running any trimmer at full tilt there would blast wood chips like shrapnel and shred your flowers. So you drop to low and the Fokikip gently kisses the perimeter grass. Then at the weedy back border, you tap the pedal, kick it into high, and hit it with full force. That pedal is a small mercy because switching from trimmer to edger usually means bending over and fighting a plastic collar, and here you just step on it. The head pivots at an unusual 54 degrees that takes a minute to get used to, and being a white label brand, long-term support is a fair question. But my favorite hidden perk is the extra wide edge guard. It works like an aerodynamic deflector, sending flying wet grass down at the ground, so after half an hour, your shoes and pant legs stay dramatically cleaner. Weirdly delightful. Last up, and my quiet favorite for a specific reason, is the Hortihub. Its whole philosophy is one nobody else bothered with: neighborhood peace. The 21-volt motor spins 9,000 revolutions per minute but uses internal components that soak up the acoustic resonance, so it's far quieter than the jet engine scream of a traditional trimmer. At just 5¼ pounds, it's the lightest tool in this lineup, and it assembles completely tool-free, using hand knobs instead of screwdrivers, ready in about 3 minutes. Imagine a retirement community where the roar of normal equipment basically bans yard work before noon. With this, you head out into the Saturday dew at 7 in the morning, edge your walkway, and finish before anyone's coffee gets cold. No angry calls to the HOA. It even throws in safety glasses, a rare kindness here. The featherweight polymer means you'll want to avoid dropping it on concrete, and it's happiest on lighter grass, so really dense turf might ask for a second pass. So, how do you pick? If you're a first-timer or watching the budget, the Garvee is the smartest on-ramp, since that fast charger and pile of spools take the sting out of ownership. If your back or shoulders aren't what they used to be, the Worx and its supporting wheels turn edging into a stroll. For rough rural land, brambles, and small trees, nothing here touches the Wegofly and its steel saw blade. If storage is your enemy, the Jaklari and the Kamasti both fold down small, with the Kamasti leaning green and the Jaklari leaning fast for pristine urban lawns. When you want to protect delicate flower beds and stretch every minute of battery, the dual-speed Fokikip is your pick. And if keeping the peace with the neighbors matters most, the Whisper Quiet Hortihub lets you work at dawn without a complaint. All 7 are linked in the description below, so grab the one that fits your yard and go. If this helped, drop a comment telling me which one you're leaning toward. I read every single one.